priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air,
and Electrical.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Are you tired of living in pain? It's time to take control. At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, we're your one-stop shop for expert care in Lincoln. From broken bones to complex reconstruction, our skilled team will help you get back on track. Visit prairieortho.com today and discover why we're the trusted choice for thousands of patients. Don't let pain hold you back. Take the first step towards a better, pain-free life with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins. Call 402-489-4700.
There's no better way to spark a child's imagination than to get lost in the adventure of a good book. I'm Jenny Benson, president of NSEA. Working together, parents and teachers can help every child succeed. You can help by reading to your child and let your child read to you. Encourage reading in your home and make it a priority. Make reading fun and a time that you and your child look forward to spending together.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association in this station.
Omaha Supernovas postgame show brought to you by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
San Diego, California on the Supernovas Radio Network, powered by 93.7 The Ticket. San Diego wins it 3-1, and there's several talking points. Well, Coach, it's one of those nights where it doesn't feel the way it normally feels in play. Different folks are having that kind of night. And then San Diego pulled some switches. They pulled some levers and they hit some buttons and things that Omaha normally does and works. Tonight, San Diego did those things, and it shows up in the scoreboard.
Yeah, at 18-20, that double sub came up real clutch. Little surprising. I don't think people expected. I mean, kudos to those that went in, right? They hadn't been in the whole match, and they go in at the end of set 4 at 18-20. Cold as all get out. Come in. Morgan Lewis gets a kill, gets a block. August Rasky sets some great balls. I mean, again, San Diego from the very beginning, they're a dangerous 3-win team, and they're really good at home. Okay, so they gave us a fit. They earned the victory, and I don't think we played our best match. And I think that's the game of volleyball. And if you look at the stats, you know, people who normally are pretty consistent for us didn't produce as much. I would like to state San Diego was out of rotation at the end of set 4. They didn't call it, so could have been, we could have had one more opportunity there. But obviously, if the officials aren't watching, then it doesn't matter, right?
It's one of those things where the battle was there, sort of,
at times,
right? That we know that in the Pro Volleyball Federation, that on any given night, and then get to 21-22, and then whoever's making plays in that situation and circumstance have the advantage. Well, tonight that was San Diego, and no matter who it was, listen, Tom Com set the pace, and I think it was fantastic to watch. She was everything as advertised. They got everything that they needed from Thomas Ilara. We saw that. And then what Morgan Lewis did coming off the bench in deep rotation late in set 4. But there were 3 sets prior to that. And in each case, when San Diego needed a punch, Stone, Thomas Ilara, Tom Com, they handled it.
Yeah, they had multiple players step up and make plays for them in every set. I mean, it wasn't like they just had one person they went to. Dalkey stepped up in some regard. Thomas Ilara gave us a fit, especially once she moved to the opposite. I thought we did a pretty good job. Ilara on the outside, once she moved there, did a great job. I thought we handled her pretty well when she was at the opposite. Dalkey did a great job in her role. As this season goes on, the best teams, right, that perform on that night, the most players step up, are going to be the teams that end up being the champions at the end. Anytime you're playing a team 4 times, it just shows, again, the disparity of the league.
I mean, you talk about a team stepping up, and we talked about it on the bus ride over here and a little bit before the match even started. San Diego only has 10 matches under their belt. This is their 11th match, and they were one of the last teams to form in the Professional Volleyball Federation. So as the season goes on for them, this is kind of them finding their footing. This is them becoming more of a team as the season goes along. So, yeah, they didn't start off too hot. Yeah, they only have 4 wins, but this is a professional sport. These are professional athletes, and as the season goes along, they're going to get more comfortable with each other, and their offense, their team looked completely different from the first time that Omaha faced them.
Yeah, that was one of my questions to Bird. Like, we saw him second match of the season. What are some improvements? Like, what does the new and improved San Diego look like? Because she said they're playing well right now. I mean, granted, Atlanta kind of was an outlier there, but they just swept Vegas not long before that.
Atlanta's just on a tear.
Yeah, they are on the tear. We'll worry about that next on the 14th, right? No, 13th we play Atlanta. But she said the biggest improvement is their team chemistry and like leveraging their time of playing together. They haven't had as much time as everybody else. So the more that they get in the gym, get working together, and having the set lineup and a little bit more consistency, they're going to start to see these gains, right? Getting used to each other and getting used to how each other plays, and getting used to the system. And so they're just going to keep getting better and better as it goes. We got 2 more shots at them.
And it just seemed like, as the match was going on, that they were figuring out different ways to change up their shots. You were talking about how they were going line a lot early, and then they started going towards the middle of the court. Then they started tipping things because they were hitting line so effectively.
Oh, yeah, they did a great job of not being predictable, right? And that's the whole goal in volleyball, is to not be predictable. Whether it's the set come out of your hands, the hit that you're making, the serve, like there's going to be tendencies that work, but the ability to kind of go against the grain, I thought they did really well tonight.
I'll ask you both, because to me, sometimes we've chalked these nights up to, well, just the other team's better. And there are other circumstances involved. I think a lot of this it was San Diego's night at home. Like, you can't be surprised when athletes of this caliber have a night. And there were every reason, even before the match, we said, listen, there are 10 matches in. The 11th match with a different rotation, with a different roster. These are all immaculate players. These are elite players. So we know that they're capable. Then the responsibility is on Omaha, that, you know what, you play at your level. And I think we can all say that Supernovas did not play at a level that they're comfortable or happy with tonight.
No, I think they're going to – you never want to have regrets after a game, but I think there's going to be regrets because they didn't put forth their best effort. And they didn't respond like they normally would respond. And part of it is how you respond. Like, things in volleyball aren't going to always go your way, but you have a choice of how you want to respond to that. You can fight or you can lay down. And in a way, I thought we laid down. And then at times we show a little bit of fight and then we'd lay down. And we just never really got the bus rolling to where we had consecutive high-intensity efforts that rewarded us with points.
This was one of those matches where, like you said, things were going well for certain stretches of time, but when one thing went wrong, things really went wrong for Omaha, where, they miscommunicate on a serve receiver. They'd miscommunicate after, looking for a second touch. And then the next point, it's just bouncing off of somebody's hands, and there's another miscommunication, and it's falling to the floor, and you've got people looking at each other with their palms to the sky, like, what just happened? Like, where were you at? Where were you at? And it just seemed like it would snowball for them. They'd finally get a spark, crawl their way back into it, and then one thing would go wrong again, and it would the snowball would start to pick up again.
Yeah, last year our team read a book called In the Dark, and it was talking about, like, get the bus rolling, right? And we just never got the bus rolling. Because sometimes it just takes one great play, and we had that happen, right? We had some great plays, and then all of a sudden it would go the opposite direction, and then San Diego would have all the great plays, and we kind of would go the other, go down. We never kept it moving all the way through.
I think a lot of it for me, the phrase we use is quicksand. That once you get in it, how you fight and how you maintain is important. If you struggle wildly, you go deeper quicker. It's a calm race when you're in this space like this. It's supposed to work. I think the leadership will have some conversations because guess what? Tomorrow's a travel day. And then, no one cares. Columbus is coming to town. And last time they saw you, they put one on you.
Yeah.
They put one on you. So listen, it's not even get even. It's get back. Like, this is big. So there's some conversations that will happen tonight. And then conversations that will happen tomorrow in the travel because this team will not be happy.
No, they're competitors, and like I said, like, you never want to have regret after a game, but they're going to have regret today. Like, I mean, you can't go across your stat line and be like, I played my best game. Yeah. Betty De La Cruz, that might have been the best game I've seen Betty play. She hit 430. We gave her the ball 54 times. She tried to put us on her back and carry us to the finish line. And when she rotated to the back row at 18-20, they did the double sub. I got a little nervous because we had been riding her coattails. I mean, we set her 54 times. She had 26 kills. That's a new high, I believe. I believe that's a new franchise record.
Yeah.
I mean, she played lights out, and for her to have the game of her life and nobody else to step up to that level, I mean, for her is probably a little frustrating as well.
The strategy behind that double sub for San Diego was magnificent. Like you said, when Betty moved to the back row, San Diego said, okay, we're going to keep her back there because we don't want her up here because, like you said, she's putting the Supernovas on her back right now. So if we can keep her back there, we've got a good chance of winning, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, yeah, Morgan Lewis had 4 of their last 7 points. She had 3 kills, 1 block.
Mm-hmm.
And that's doing your job, right? You go in, make an impact.
Yeah.
Morgan Lewis made an impact.
I was a little confused when they subbed Tom out because she was doing such a wonderful job.
Well, but I mean, we've seen this from Coach Bird.
When the tables are turned, it's not as much fun, though.
I don't like it. I don't like it as much, DP.
I don't
like it when that happens.
We've seen it from Coach Bird where she looks down the bench at the right time, and there are times where there was Mayfield, she's done it.
Mm-hmm.
And we understand what it is. And tonight on the road, and again, my thing is there's not much time. There's a bit of an Atlanta vibe to me in that you have to get it right pretty quick. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw the break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to bring Betty De La Cruz on to the post-game show. Supernovas Radio Network, DP, Coach Saunders, and Rico. We'll have Betty De La Cruz when we come right back.
This is James Harrell with NP Dodge Real Estate. When I became a licensed realtor, I wanted a brokerage that would help me grow in my new career. I found that in Lincoln First Realty. When Lincoln First was acquired by NP Dodge, the training and support I received only got better. I love knowing I have the power of the NP Dodge brand behind me. I would recommend NP Dodge to new agents looking to jumpstart their real estate career and to current agents who want to take their business to the next level.
Expand your career with NP Dodge. Call Eric at 402-434-2222.
Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Your business runs like a well-oiled machine. It's important that your actual machines do too.
Stern is here to make sure you don't have to worry about that. They provide solutions for heavy equipment and automotive fuels, lubricants, and equipment guard options. And with Stern's commitment to customer service for the past 40 years, you know you have a partner to help support your operations for years to come. Contact Roger at Stern Company by calling 1-800-477-2744 or visit them online at stern.co. Stern Company, where problems meet solvers.
Adoption of teens from foster care is a topic not enough people know about, and we're here to change that. I'm April Dinwiddie, host of the new podcast, Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Each episode brings you compelling real-life adoption stories told by the families that live them with commentary from experts. Visit adoptuskids.org/podcast or subscribe to Navigating Adoption, presented by Adopt US Kids. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Administration for Children and Families and the Ad Council.
Omaha Supernovas postgame show brought to you by Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Welcome back to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show here in now dark San Diego, California. I'm Rico, joined by the coach, Renee Saunders, and potentially, if we look it up, new franchise record holder in kills, Betty Dela Cruz.
Hi.
Betty, a tough match today. San Diego gets the 3-1 victory. What were the Mojo doing to kind of keep you guys out of rhythm?
I think Mojo is a really good team, especially their middles are so good. And also, I think they play just consistent. And we was like up and down. So I think in the end, for us, was not so good because they found us in the end in the low. So they have a great game tonight.
Well, at the end of the game, it was 18-20. You go back to serve. They double sub. Machine glitches, whatever. You're sitting back there thinking about it for a little while. But after that sub, they went on a tear. What do you think? Why do you think the coach double subbed at that time?
I don't know. They have a lot of players, and I think in other matches also they put some players in and out. So they did this in this moment, and it works. So good for them.
At the net, you busted out a whole bunch of different shots. What were you seeing against that front row of San Diego that you could take advantage of to reach your 26 kills?
I didn't know until now what's 26. I just play. I like to win. So thanks God I do this. I can help my team, but we lose, so I'm not so happy.
I mean, we all want to win, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's always the goal.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't let a loss overshadow a great performance.
Yeah.
Right? And I mean, you've earned it. You hit 430. Like, those are phenomenal numbers at the professional level. Like, nobody does that. So you actually made their block look horrible. I said that a blocker, the way you hit, finding all those shots, as a blocker, you're the most frustrating person to play against because you're so hard to stop because you make a little shift, you hit a different shot. Make a little shift, hit a different shot. What is your plan of attack when you go up? Like, can you see the block, or do you have like a preconceived idea of what you want to do?
I think now is experience.
You played a couple years.
Yeah. I'm doing this for 20 years. So it's experience. And also, I know some players from Mojo. We play together, so I know some things what they are doing against me. So I work with this.
What makes TomCom so good, like so crafty? Like, what makes her that good?
I have to say first, I love her. And it's so fun to watch her playing. And it's also experience. It's a experience setter. And she is one of the best in the world, in my opinion. And it's so hard to read what she will do in the moment. So
she's shifty because she'll go down and get her hands on a ball and like look like she's going to throw it out, and all of a sudden the ball's flicked back. You're just like, how did you make that set? Or she'd bump set a ball that like goes behind her head like a slide. She does amazing things with the ball. Is it fun? I mean, you have all your experiences overseas and then obviously playing AU. Is it fun to play against these players in the PBF?
Of course. It's like like a friends reunite here. So it's so good because also some good players are coming to this league and making this league interesting and also high level.
Yeah, it is. It's a very high level league. I mean, that was a dangerous 3-win team. Like, I don't think you can come in and think you're just going to win. I don't think you can go into any game and just think you're going to win. So, obviously, tough loss. You're not happy, and that's okay. But what's going to happen between now and Thursday to get ready for Columbus?
It's a different team, and also we have practice tomorrow, and we have just to change the page because it's just one day, and we have game. And I think from now we have to be careful with all the teams because of course everybody want to win, and we have to work hard to win.
And everybody's good enough
Yeah.
to win.
Yeah.
Well, Betty, we really want to have you on after a win next time. So that's probably what we're going to do. Next time you go off, which you will, we'll have you back on after a win. But thank you so much for joining us. Congratulations on the 26 kills. You'll get them next time.
Thank you.
What we're going to do right now is we're going to swap you out for Coach Bird if she's prepared. So again, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining us
guys.
here.
Good job, Betty.
We're not going to go to a break right now. We're going to keep it here as Bird is talking to, she's pretty popular. So
Thank you, Betty.
Thank you, Betty. Thank you so much. Bird is pretty popular, so she's talking to some people right now. But we're going to bring the coach on to talk about the unfortunate loss to the San Diego Mojo. And like we said, it's their 4th win of the season, but it is a dangerous now 4-win team here in the PVF. As we welcome in Coach Bird to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty postgame show. Bird,
Yes, this is interesting. I like that.
you like the
flare
little
at
palm
the
trees
top.
back there?
Yeah, it's good. It's
You
good
were
vibes.
telling Coach Saunders this is a dangerous 3-win team, and
Yep.
we were talking about it before. This is their 11th game during the season. This is a team that was one of the last to form. Now is I think the fewest games in the PVF right now. But what was it? What was different about San Diego this time, and what did they do to kind of frustrate you guys?
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing together a little longer now, so they have this team chemistry going. They defensively outworked us. The sets 3 and 4. I mean, I'm proud of how we grinded back in, but they were, lighting us up. And it's frustrating when you play a defense like that. I'm sure you mentioned this. Like when you're attacking and they're just digging everything, they're playing middle up defense. That kid was like just taking balls to the chest.
She was getting blasted.
Yes, yeah. So I think that can wear on some. But I'm proud. Again, I'm proud of how we made some changes. Gabby came in and had a great match. Kind of settled things down. But really, we had to finish. We put ourselves in a position to finish, and we just didn't at the end of those sets.
Yeah, it was one of those games where Betty obviously goes off.
Yep.
26 kills, hits 430,
Yep.
has 3 blocks, 14 digs. Honestly, that might have been the best match I've ever seen her play. Unfortunately, we just didn't have anybody
Balance.
else doing it.
Right.
Like, I
The
mean, we talked about
balance.
the attack mode balance and all those things. And I thought we started getting the middles involved, and the block got going a little bit. Like Christina ended up with like 6 blocks. That was huge. I mean, let's be honest. We all wanted to win the game,
Yes.
right? That was the plan coming in.
Yep.
Are there regrets here on the team? That was the word I used. That I mean, as a player, I think I would regret my performance if I wasn't playing up to my potential. Did you feel like that happened?
I don't know if there's like specific regrets. I think everyone knew we could have played better. And every night, but we talk about this even after the Atlanta match at home. Every night you might not feel great. It might not be on, but you have to figure out ways when you feel that way how to change it. And we did little things here and there, but then again, we put ourselves in a position. You have to be able to look at your teammate and whoever's out there and be like, we're finishing. And that, I feel like there was something that missing. And I don't know if it's because now we're like, oh, hey, we're playing good at home. I don't know. Maybe something San Diego, you come out here. People play different when they're here, I guess. And now we know what that feels like. This was our first trip out here. But there's really no excuses. You have to play clean and you got to finish. When you have the opportunities, you got to take advantage of them. And they ran 3 points, I think, in that last set right there at the end. And there was a lot of things that were our errors that we were in control of that we weren't capitalizing on.
Yeah, Morgan Lewis came in on that double sub and was responsible for 4 of their last 7 points, 3 kills, 1 block. Interesting sub, right? Down to 18-20. Different reasons for it. Betty rotates to the back row. Obviously, Betty had been pretty unstoppable throughout the whole match. Did they see an opportunity potentially like take the match by making that substitution?
I think they were just trying to change it up for momentum. And honestly, they were probably trying to get a certain matchup that we got the last 2 sets. And so I think they did the dub sub at the end to just have more physicality in the front row to slow us down.
And it did.
It worked.
So you get to go home now.
Yeah. We're going to head back home where we've been playing.
And then you
better.
get Columbus.
Yeah.
Little revenge match.
Yes. So, yeah, I mean, we turn and burn because we get back tomorrow and then we play on Thursday again. So I think Nazi says it all the time. You got to be a goldfish. And that's going to be a grind. I mean, that's going to be a completely different style of match, different matchups, different personnel. And so now it's just, this is the name of the game. You got to refocus and get ready to grind again.
Yeah, Columbus brings not totally different style, but they're a totally different team.
Yes, they are.
And so it's going to be not hard. And yes, you have to have a goldfish, but I think you can learn lessons from this loss too. You know, obviously, like Betty has the best game of her season, and nobody else has a great game. We didn't really have bad games. We just weren't on. But yeah, Gabby Thompson came in, played huge. I thought Paige did some good things. Nia did some really good things. You know, Brooke couldn't quite get her swing down today. She was making all the right reads though.
Yep.
All the right shots and just missing. And that's the game of volleyball. It's a game of inches. So are you going to practice them tomorrow and then serve and pass game day?
Yep.
Is that the plan?
Yeah. So we'll get in and we'll go to the gym and do a little bit, but not much tomorrow. Just kind of get them moving. And then we'll do a full regular routine on Thursday for the match.
Nice. It'll be a good bounce back game at home.
Yeah. Get them refocused, get them going, light some people up.
Another one of those matches today where you use a couple subs. You know, you have a deep bench.
Mm-hmm.
You're able to use a deep bench, but I'm sure this wasn't the exact kind of scenario that you wanted to have to use that bench.
No, and again, it's fun because like they all play together and compete every day in practice. So to them, those roles that happens, you know, and it's fluid. Maybe we should have tried some different things here and there, and I've already been thinking through this thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening. But it is what it is. You can't go back. So now you just got to learn, and we have to learn as a staff and keep moving forward.
And it's hard. I mean, you were on a 3-game win streak for the second time this season, I think. Mm-hmm. It's hard to get that 4th win in a row. It really is.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you have these 3-game win streak, and then it's like, you get halted. Mm-hmm. But I feel like our bounce back has been really good. So, yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to Thursday's match.
Yeah, it's going to be necessary, but it's going to be a battle. This next month of play is going to be a battle. And we talked about it in the locker room. Like, whatever the feeling is when we get challenged, like, we are going to feel it every match from here on out.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it's like coming to the point where it's like either you're desperate for wins or you're trying to steal wins from the people that are ahead of you. And so
it's a rat race.
Yep.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you're past the halfway point on the season, you're hitting a stretch of, weeks, a stretch of days where there's going to be a travel day, and then you'll come back home and you'll play a match, and then you'll have like 2 days off, and then you'll go and play another match. What does anything change in your guys' preparation, or is that kind of like going back to, what was it, February, where you were on the road for what seemed like the entire month?
Yeah. I actually think there's more of a rhythm through it. I only know this because I manage our Google Calendar, so I've gone through it. I think we actually have like stretches where it's almost just 1 or 2 matches. This is the grind one right now. These 4 matches we're going to be pretty close together, but we get into like a Saturday, then Thursday. So we have 2 to 3 days in between most of them. Maybe
3
not.
matches, the 20th, the 23rd, 26th, but then not again until May 4th. Then you go May 6th, May 9th. So you're getting like, you kind of have
May
like 3.
is crazy.
There's a
May
couple,
is crazy
there's
again,
a couple
but April
stretches.
is April's pretty spread out.
Yeah, you have the 4th, the 13th, and then the
20th. So we have about a week in between the middle of April, but it'll get crazy again.
Well, and you're getting to the point where it becomes like a little cutthroat because there's only 7 teams in the league and 4 of them make it into the playoffs. And like a team that's 4-7 could just as well get into the playoffs as somebody who's 12-4.
Yep.
Like it's so not It's so unpredictable.
Right, and every match matters. Like
Yes.
the rankings, and we know that. They know that. They know that they have good players. It wasn't anything like we underestimated it. It really wasn't. I just think there are going to be certain matches every day. I mean, we all feel different every day. Shoot, you know what I mean? Like we could feel great one day, wake up not. So we have to learn how to play through those things. And we have the personnel and the depth to do it, so we'll be better as a staff.
Well, Bird, with that, it's late. I'm sure that at some point they're going to want to kick us out of here, but
Yeah.
we're going to end our post-game show. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in like a couple of minutes once we get everything packed away.
Okay.
I was not even going to say we're going to
See
go.
you on the
but
Safety in numbers.
I'm like trying to
Safety in
think of things.
numbers.
It'll be
That's
fine.
right.
Thank you so much for joining us. You guys are listening to the Next Ag Appraisal and Realty post-game show here on the Supernovas Radio Network. For DP, Coach Saunders, and myself, we will see you in 2 days.
Thanks, guys.
Road construction is complete, so there's nothing keeping you from getting into Mullen Motors. They can get you into a new vehicle right now and get your 2024 started off the right way. They cleared off their 2023 inventory and have tons of new vehicles to choose